I'm George Grant saying thank you very much for joining us for today's edition of Gudday Grenada. It's a pretty cloudy morning here this morning. Actually, earlier on this morning, we did have some showers. However, I've just taken a look at satellite picture, and it's cloudy, and looks like those clouds are going to be around for a little while. But no big deal, nothing to worry about out there at all this morning. We're happy that you're with us on this Thursday morning. The race continues, man. I'll tell you, it seems like every morning we have a new person showing up first. And this morning, the award, the crown goes to Sherry Wilson, just nosing out Fitzroy. You got to keep your shoes on, Fitzroy. She just beat you this morning. Sherry, good to see you. Congratulations. Thank you very much for joining us. My dear friends, you know, this morning, he's so proud of himself. Watch this, patting himself on the back. 4th day in a row. Grand dance. Yeah. We were there this morning, and we're going to show you just about a minute worth of footage that we shot. Kind of dark because this morning's the earliest we've gotten there, and by we I mean Sharon and her son, and we were also joined by Carter. We were on the beach, I would say, about 5:15 this morning, 20 after 5 this morning. So it was kind of dark, but we did go for our usual walk. And instead of, we start at Come Park. Instead of going towards Spice Inn, Quarantine Point, this morning, for the first time, we went the opposite direction. The reason for that is that I had really hoped that I would be able to get some shots of the grapes that we were talking about on, I think it was on, yesterday when we had Sharon in here. We were talking about the fact that the grape trees on the beach are just laden, laden with grapes. And found it interesting that it seems like, from Camahan towards Spice, they're all green. But Sharon had told me that if we went in the opposite direction, she would find a lot of ripened ones. Well, when we got down there this morning, it was still pretty early, so it was kind of dark, and we were not able to see them. However, I gotta tell you this. We went in to have our swim, and while we were doing that, her son decided he was going grape hunting. Guy came back with a pocket full of grapes, So yes, for the first time in quite a while, I had myself some sea grapes this morning. Too bad you couldn't be there. Anyhow, we're going to show you some footage as we did a little, you ever heard the term mako? We did a little makoing this morning at the Silver Sands. Yeah, we did some makoing there this morning, and I'm going to show you some of the footage. That too is kind of dark, but I think you'll get the picture. Anyhow, let's get into the real reason why we're here this morning. We're going to begin with a piece that was published on Grenada Broadcast last night. It's captioned, "Now that Carnival is over." Boy, the streets are so quiet these yesterday and today. What a contrast from the last couple of days. There's a piece that was written by Claudette Joseph, and we're going to share that with you in just a wee bit. And this morning we're going to try and pursue an inspirational mode. You know, there is life after politics. Agreed? I think so. And we're going to share some uplifting stuff this morning, really uplifting stuff. The first piece, it's a little video that's captioned, "If you think that your life is hard, you might be thinking again after you watch this young lady." So that's the first piece we're going to run for you, and we're going to run that before the National. Yes, we do have the National report for you this morning. After the National, we're also going to do a piece which I think would be of great interest to those of you out there on Facebook, especially those of you out there in the diaspora. Yeah? An African ambassador made some comments which I got my paws on, and I want to share that with you because she's speaking directly to the African diaspora. But I'll tell you, as you listen to this, think, you know, maybe if we applied that or a similar strategy to the Grenadian diaspora, maybe a little bit better off. It's not going to cure all our problems, but I think it would go a long way in helping. Having said that, I've got to be honest with you. I know that many of you out there in the diaspora for years have been religiously sending your help, your assistance to us here. And that eases a lot of the pain that we go through in this country. So listen to this carefully when we get to it in the second half of this morning's program. I say second half because today is Thursday, and you know that on Thursdays we usually have Mr. Brzezinski in here. Well, the guy's been out gallivanting. He told me that he'd be back in Grenada on the 17th. Today is the 15th. So I guess hopefully at this time next week, Mr. B, AB, will be in the saddle once again. All right? We're also, there's somebody we haven't heard from for a couple of weeks. A good friend out there, Anthony DeRiggs. Well, scouting through Facebook last night, I came across a little piece which I thought was very inspirational. And I'm going to share that with you this morning. Words of wisdom. No better words of wisdom is how I've captioned it on the site this morning from Anthony DeRiggs. All right? So, that's the commence that we are going to get into this morning as he relaxes a little bit here. Now, I mentioned to you that we did shoot some stuff on the beach this morning, okay? You're going to have to look very closely because it was pretty dark. But as we walked by that new hotel on the beach there, Silver Sands, couldn't help but notice, you know, a certain part of the hotel was lit up. And take a look. This is the famous infamous infinity pool that you can watch about down there. Take a look at that man. Beautiful. And thunderstorm just to the south of the island. And we saw some like you get see it. Yeah. Still kind of dark, coming up on So, like I said, not too much to see there this morning, but we just wanted to let you know that we were macking Silver Sands this morning. Beautiful property, beautiful property. Before I get into a main piece here this morning, let me say good morning to the folks out there. We've already said good morning to Sherry and Fitzroy. Benedict Cador is saying good morning to y'all, and Sherry is asking how was the beach, girl? It was great. You know, I'd heard that a lot of people go to the beach in the morning. Well, there weren't that many on Carnival on Monday, at least while we were there. And we were there always, between 6 and 7. And there weren't many on Tuesday. There weren't many yesterday. And today, even less. I guess people are still kind of hungover from the holidays. There really weren't many people. We did see one lady on the beach. She remained on the beach. This lady's always swimming, but she remained on the beach this morning because she saw those flashes of lightning. And she said she ain't going into the water when lightning flashing. Yeah, I understand that apprehension, but the lightning flashes were way to the south of us, so I don't think that would have been a problem. Actually, we were there swimming around this morning and had no problems. So Benedict, okay, well, we said hi to Benedict and Sherry and Donna. Hello, Donna, how you doing, girl? Donna is saying good morning, Gigi, and everybody on the platform, and Coylan Nash. Hello, Coylan, haven't seen you in a bit. Say good morning. Jem, the Sheriff Caliste, is saying good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, Mr. George Grant. Well, let me tell you, Mr. Jem, good morning. I gotta tell you, sir, I want to salute you. Just before I hit the sack last night, and I'm trying to get to bed a little bit early, I usually get to bed like, 3 o'clock in the morning. But because I have now been assigned the responsibility to appear on Grand Dance every morning, I try to get to bed a little bit earlier. Well, guess what? It must have been about 1 o'clock this morning that I went in, okay? And just before I did, as I always do, I do check my smartphone, see what's cooking out there. And Mr. Caliste, let's see what he calls himself, Jem FM, the Sheriff Caliste. Mr. Jem FM, the Sheriff Caliste. I saw you at some point last night talking about, or trying to help the homeless in Toronto. I was impressed, and I applaud you for reaching out. The world needs more people like you, sir. Thank you for reaching out to humanity. It's not here in Grenada, big deal. The homeless in Toronto are just as important as ours here. So congratulations, keep up the good work. Okay. Kipling is saying he's sending God's blessings and reminding you folks to share, okay. And Bernard's also just popped out. All right, now, let's get down to brass tacks. This piece was published on Grenada Broadcast last night, and it's captioned, now that the Carnival is over, written by Claudette Joseph. It's published in the NDC Heartbeat. Spice Mass 2019 is over, and the NDC congratulates all the winners. The NDC especially recognizes and congratulates Black Wizard on him celebrating 50 years in Calypso. His contribution over the years have been and continue to be invaluable. From all reports, there was an increase in visitors to our shores for the Carnival. For this, credit must be given to our artistes and cultural ambassadors who, by their achievements, continue to give Grenada prominence on the global Carnival stage. The economy would no doubt have received a much-needed boost. We trust that the Spice Mass Corporation will conduct the necessary Carnival review so that much-needed improvements can be made to the various components of Carnival, especially Pan and Mass. Panorama needs to once again share the same big stage as the other components of Carnival. The incomplete, uncovered platform for a stage on which steel bands had to compete was just a disgrace. Pan is an equal component of Carnival, just as Calypso and Soca, and must be treated as such. There must also be a thorough review of the criteria for mass bands parading the Carnival venue. People purchasing costumes must be protected so that they do not run the risk of paying for costumes that they never receive. Sadly, this happened to many people this year. It reflects badly, not just on the culprits, but on the overall image of our Spice Mass. While Grenadians reveled in Spice Mass, government quietly went to Parliament and admitted that 7 months into the year, its $1.1 billion EC dollar 2019 budget is a bust. Just a few hours before the start of Soca Monarch on Friday, the 9th of August 2019, when he thought no one was paying attention, Keith Mitchell, Minister of Finance, and the one mathematician in town, tabled the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2019, asking for parliamentary approval of an additional $9,967,790 in spending for 2019. Don't get us wrong. NDC appreciates that government regularly seek parliamentary approval to supplement their budgetary estimates. However, this usually happens towards the end of the fiscal year, not just over halfway in. Supplementary appropriations are sometimes needed when capital programs of government were not sufficiently developed to be properly estimated for at the time of preparing the main budget. Other times, emergency situations warrant unforeseen additional spending, and supplementary appropriations are needed. The 2019 Supplementary Appropriation Bill comes much earlier in the year than normal. A properly prepared budget should not go bust in 7 months. We know that only a small fraction, $775,840 of the additional sums estimated are allocated for capital expenditure. The rest is for recurrent expenditure, which suggests incompetence in preparing the initial estimates of mismanagement of allocated funds, resulting in overspending. The incompetence and/or mismanagement that resulted in this busted budget operate on several levels. First, it points to the inability of the cabinet to ensure that realistic targets are set when estimating the expenditure for the various ministries and government departments. Second, it suggests mismanagement of public funds by overspending in some areas. For example, in the main budget The office of the Prime Minister already was allocated an unusually large sum. For what then does his office need an additional $200,000? Recently, the Prime Minister bragged that although there is a law which says that police officers are not to be paid salary in lieu of vacation, he decided to break that law and pay his favorite police officers over $250,000 salary in lieu of vacation. He did this because he doesn't trust anyone, including the Commissioner of Police, to provide suitable replacements in his security detail, while some take their vacation, which by law they must. This is just one clear example of wrongdoing and mismanagement of public funds that helped to bust the 2019 budget, resulting in more expense on the taxpayers of Grenada. On the same day, last Friday, August 9th, Parliament also authorized the Minister of Finance to borrow $118,800,000 to meet our expenses for the period July to December 2019. The Minister of Finance keeps saddling the people with more debt, while he refuses to tell us what our total national debt is. The timing of this sitting of Parliament to deal with this most important money bill, we have no doubt, was deliberately set in the hope that no one would be paying attention. In recent months, we have had one corruption and mismanagement scandal after the next. In all instances, the result is very costly for the people of Grenada, either in hard dollars and cents or in damage to our country's reputation. It is therefore our collective duty to remain vigilant, especially since our lower house of Parliament is comprised only of yes men and women, and the Senate is usually a rubber stamping exercise. That's why, Carnival or not, we must continue to mind our business. Because as Black Wizard reminds us, when the Carnival over, we still need a brighter day, and our problems won't go away. Folks, that's Claudette's piece this week. And just in case you missed any of it, go visit, maybe some of you are already on the website, GRENADABROADCAST.com. Okay, now, let's see what else is cooking here this morning. Ooh, Sharon, hello Sharon. Sharon, I just saw you on the beach. What are you doing here on Facebook or Ready Go? Sharon says, good morning, George and family. What a beautiful rainy day it is in the Spice Isles today. Yeah, girl. Jem, the sheriff, Khalees says, I'm on the subway and I'm missing you on mornings. I only look at it when I guess he means get home. And by that time it's done. But I watch it anyway. Yes, Jim, thank you for watching. Good to see you, bro. All right. Now, talked about inspiration. Let's get into inspiration. Oh, I'm looking forward to playing this. From time to time, we all encounter challenges in our lives. Many, not knowing how to cope with those challenges, can be shattered. But not this young lady whom you're about to meet. As you're about to see and hear, it all depends on how you see yourself. I hope that the next 6 minutes or so will touch the life of someone out there and cause today to be the very first day of the rest of your life. Check this out.
If you think that your life is hard and you're giving up on that because you think your life is unfair, think again. I was 18 years old when I got married. I belonged to a very conservative family, a Baloch family, where good daughters never say no to their parents. My father wanted me to get married, and all I said was, if that makes you happy, I'll say yes. And of course, it was never a happy marriage. Just about after 2 years of getting married, about 9 years ago, I met a car accident. Somehow my husband fell asleep and the car fell in the ditch. He managed to jump out, saved himself. I'm happy for him. But I stayed inside the car and I sustained a lot of injuries. List is a bit long. Radius ulna of my right arm were fractured. The wrist was fractured. Shoulder bone and collarbone were fractured. My whole rib cage got fractured. And because of the rib cage injury, lungs and liver were badly injured. But that injury that changed me and my life completely as a person and my perception towards living my life was the spine injury. 3 vertebrae of my backbone were completely crushed and I got paralyzed for the rest of my life. Many people came to rescue. They gave me CPR. They dragged me out of the car. And while they were dragging me out, I got the complete transection of my spinal cord. Those 2.5 months in the hospital were dreadful. I was at the verge of despair. One day, doctor came to me and he said, well, I heard that you wanted to be an artist, but you ended up being a housewife. I have a bad news for you. You won't be able to paint again. Next day, doctor came to me and said, your spine injury is so bad, you won't be able to walk again. I took a deep breath and I said, it's all right. Next day, doctor came to me and said, because of your spine injury and the fixation that you have in your back, you won't be able to give birth to a child again. That day, I was devastated. I still remember, I asked my mother, why me? And that is where I started to question my existence. Why am I even alive? And that is where I realized that the words have the power to heal the soul. My mother said to me, this too shall pass. God has a greater plan for you. I don't know what it is, but He surely has. That day I decided that I'm going to fight my fears. So I wrote down one by one all those fears. And I decided that I'm going to overcome these fears one at a time. You know what was my biggest fear? Divorce. I couldn't stand this word. I was trying to cling on to this person who didn't want me anymore, but I said no. I have to make it work. But the day I decided that this is nothing but my fear, I liberated myself by setting him free. And I made myself emotionally so strong that the day I got the news that he's getting married, I sent him a text that I'm so happy for you and I wish you all the best. And he knows that I pray for him today. Number 2 was, I won't be able to be a mother again. And that was quite devastating for me. But then I realized there are so many children in the world, all they want is acceptance. So there is no point of crying, just go and adopt one. And that's what I did. 2 years later, I got this call from a very small city in Pakistan. I got a call and they said, "Are you Muniba Mazari? There is a baby boy and would you like to adopt?" And when I say yes, I could literally feel the labor pain. I said, yes, I am going to adopt him. I am coming to take him home. So when you accept yourself the way you are, the world recognizes you. It all starts from within. We have this amazing fantasy about life. This is how things should work. This is my plan. It should go as per my plan. If that doesn't happen, we give up. I never wanted to be on the wheelchair. Never thought of being on the wheelchair. This life is a test and a trial, and tests trials are never supposed to be easy. So when you are expecting ease from life, and life gives you lemons, then you make the lemonade, and then do not blame life for that, because you were expecting ease from a trial. Trials make you a stronger, better person. Life is a trial. Every time you realize that. It is okay to be scared. It is okay to cry. Everything is okay, but giving up should not be an option. They always say that failure is not an option. Failure should be an option, because when you fail, you get up, and then you fail, and then you get up, and that keeps you going. There are so many people in the world who are dreaming to live a life that you are living right now. You have no idea. Embrace each and every breath that you are taking. Celebrate your life. Live it. Don't die before your death. Live your life fully. Accept yourself the way you are. Be kind to yourself. Real happiness lies in gratitude. So be grateful, be alive, and live every moment.
Accept yourself the way you are. Real happiness lies in gratitude. Hope you enjoy that, folks. First of three inspirationals I'm going to play for you this morning. Second one comes up right after the national report. See here this morning, Lincoln has a little note here saying, "Good morning from the Miami airport." He's sitting at the airport watching us right now. And he says he's on his way to sweet, beautiful Grenada. Much love. Linky, we're looking forward to seeing you. Just this morning, your sister and I were talking on the beach. She said you should be in here at about 2 o'clock. Bon voyage. I'm going to track your flight on the way now, if I got some time on my hands. Folks, a little break. National report next.
Conveniently located in the Grenadians Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Grenadians will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep,
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
Studying too hard about back-to-school expenses? Co-op Bank is making back to school as easy as 1, 2, 3. Enjoy competitive interest rates, affordable monthly payments, speedy decisions on applications. Come in and apply today.
Welcome
GRENADA Community Partnership Initiative, supporting health.
To the individuals who will be using these vehicles to serve the people, please ensure while we are using these tools that we use these tools in a manner that we will all be proud of. To GRENADA, a long-standing partner with us, a true testament of what can happen when private and public sector work together for the benefit of the people.
GRENADA, energizing our community.
SpiceMass 2019 deemed incident-free and successful. We'll have details to this story and more in the national report. With the details to the news for Monday, August 14th, I am Rikisha St. Louis. The SpiceMass Corporation is satisfied with the outcome of the 2019 Carnival season. Chief Executive Officer of the SMC, Mr. Kelvin Jacob, said Wednesday that given the time frame in which to pull off Carnival and based on the outcomes achieved, SpiceMass 2019 can be dubbed a success. Jacob said, and I quote, "One of the key outcomes was timeliness. We set out to ensure that shows started on time, that they were well produced, and there was good order in terms of the general execution," unquote. The SMC CEO commended participants for their sterling contributions. He said, and I quote, "Without the valuable input of the stakeholders, the artists, masqueraders, and others, our Carnival product would not be what it is." SMC is the organizing body, but it is them who bring their creativity to bear our increasingly popular SpiceMass, unquote. Mr. Jacobs said a post-mortem has been planned. SpiceMass 2019 was successful, but we must examine it to determine what worked well and what areas we need to improve on to ensure that our 2020 Carnival is even better. Meanwhile, the SMC is planning to host its prize-giving ceremony on Saturday. More details will be announced later. The Royal Grenada Police Force has deemed SpiceMass 2019 a huge success, reporting positive results on its operational plan. 27,311 passengers arrived in Grenada for the period July 15th to August 13th, and the RGPF had an operational plan ready to execute to ensure the comfort and safety of all. On Wednesday, head of the Community Relations Department, Superintendent Vannie Cohen, held a press briefing to update members of the media, saying months of preparation yielded positive results.
There were no major incidents for Carnival 2019, and it is safe to say that we have had an incident-free SpiceMass celebration 2019. All of the major shows, including the white shows, saw police officers on the ground enforcing and executing all of the plans that we have put together for Carnival 2019. I am happy to report that there were no incidents at any of these major shows. Juve, that usually see one of the largest concentration of Grenadians celebrating and masquerading, that too went off incident-free, even if it happens in St. George's, Surtees, or St. David's, three of the major areas where Juve are held. For traffic statistics, over the last few months into the last year or two, we have been struggling to maintain control on the road. We have seen several accidents. We have seen quite a lot of infringement in traffic violations. For Carnival, from the 5th of August to the 13th of August 2019, we have issued 161 fixed penalty tickets in the following areas: seatbelts, 35, speeding, 20, using a mobile device while driving, 9, using an unlicensed motor vehicle, 3, using an uninsured motor vehicle, 3.
The level of accidents continued to be an area of concern. 58 accidents were recorded, 3 of which were serious. In one accident, 2 persons were hospitalized with injuries last Tuesday, but have since been released. Still with news from Spice Mass, Prime Minister and Minister of National Security Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell has commended law enforcement officers and the general public for an incident-free carnival. According to the Royal Grenada Police Force, there were no reports of carnival-related incidents during the period Monday, August 5th to Tuesday, August 13th. The National Security Minister welcomed this news, saying it was due in part to the efforts of the RGPF and the discipline of revelers and spectators. Dr. Mitchell said, and I quote, "Achieving an incident-free carnival speaks volumes about the proactive efforts of the RGPF and the strategy employed over the carnival season to deter crime, the sheer number of events staged over the season, the sizable crowds patronizing these events, and the vast number of visitors to the island created a challenge for the RGPF. However, police officers performed credibly and succeeded in ensuring that law and order was maintained. The officers and commanders of the RGPF are indeed deserving of the highest praise." Unquote. He added that the public too must be commended for obeying the law and keeping the peace. This is the National Report. More news after the break.
The house was shaking. Then started the story here, babe. Crack, and the roof had gone.
Man, I was so scared, I nearly wet myself.
Only those who have lived it can truly understand the devastating fury of a hurricane's wind.
The house across the road just get up and roll over.
Hurricane force wind. It's a hazard. Hazards. Take control. Reduce your loss. You can hurricane-proof your home. For example, make your roof more wind-resistant by using screws instead of nails in its construction. Find out more about hurricane force winds and other hazards at your local disaster office.
A message from the National Disaster Management Agency and Sedera.
Welcome back. Men from the North took the top 3 positions in the power category on Fantastic Friday night, creating history in what can be described as one of the most anticipated and keenly contested Power Soca Monarch finals to date. From a cast of 11 that included 5 acts from the northern side of the island, it was fierce competition between the artists while on stage, but pure jubilation when the results were called. 3 of the 5 men from the north were judged as the most impressive on the night, with Jalon Olive, Boise, The Return, taking the crown, while Looney Spark and Electrify was second with their song Bacchanal Party, while Terra the Governor's Black Power claimed the 3rd spot.
It's always great, man, coming back to the fans. Big up to the fans 100. I did this for the fans, you know. And this song means a lot to me. Thank you for always being there and been my support and my guide, man. My fans, I love you, though. But the competition this year was more intense, you understand? I mean, you break down in numbers, so that means it's a harder challenge, you understand? But we came out and we was victorious, so big up to the team.
In the groovy category, while the Groove Master Dash delivered a performance that was truly fitting of a king, the judges' decision showed that Vaughn was as equally impressive, and they both tied for the first position. Despite the fact that Dash will share the 2019 crown with Vaughn, his name will still be written in the history books as the only groovy artist to win 4 consecutive Groovy Monarch titles. In 2016, he won his first title with No Company, his second in 2017, Hit After Hit, 2018, Gifted, and in 2019, A Tellin' Ya.
To be honest, it's been a lot of preparation. I came out tonight, came to executing. I enjoyed myself because see the energy was up. I want to give thanks to the master for keeping everything safe, everybody safe. There was no fault in the performance, everybody was good, everybody did what they had to do. I myself at the forefront, held it down as a person in the forefront, so I'm very, 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 very confident. I'm never lacking confidence in myself. All right? I'm the king.
4 in a row is history, right?
It will be history.
Vaughn, who was rather elated about the joint win with Dash, says for him it's not about the competition, but producing music that his fans can relate to.
It's a good feeling knowing that, we put out the work and it paid off. 2 champions. I want to congratulate Dash and congratulate my team for putting out a good job, and congratulating the people for receiving it how they received it, and it's vibes. For me, it's a blessing to know that the fans want more than one song. That's my job. My job is not about competition. My job is to give the people music that they love and they accept, and seeing that they accept not just 2 but all of my songs this year is a blessing. And to me, I love Dirty Heart just as a lot of them do, but Soca Nice was the choice, the majority's choice, and that's what it was.
In the March Gras competition on Sunday night, Sean Niles, the Sour Serpent, amassed 519 points to claim the Calypso Monarch title with his selections 2 Wrongs, Make a Right, and Carl Boujou. Raymond Matthew the Beast, returning to competition after several years, took the 2nd spot, and defending Monarch Finley Jeffrey Scholar was 3rd. In Panorama, 6 points separated the champions. New Dimensions from the 2nd place Flo Comancheros. Republic Angel Harps took the 3rd place. Band of the Year winners in both the Fancy Mass and Traditional Mass categories, AJ and Associates and House of Justice Shotney respectively. Helen Marie and Associates won Pageant of Fancy Mass. Hermitage Shotney captured 1st place in Traditional Mass Pageant. Mega Force Promotion won Monday Night Mass. Juve Band 2019 went to Carib's Blue Devils, while Rooney J is the 2019 Road Match King. That story just ended the national report for today, Wednesday, August 14th. Let's recap the top story. Spice Mass 2019 deemed incident-free and successful. On behalf of the entire news team, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Good morning, Jackie. Good to see you, girl. You're kind of late this morning, but always nice to see you. Patricia Tellisford says, that's why I love you and your music, Vaughn. Nice and humble. Soca real nice. Keep on doing what you do. Patricia. I'm sure he appreciates the support and encouragement that you give to him. Keep it up, girl. Anthony DeRiggs says, why does the PM wear his cap like that? You're asking me? I don't know. Benedict Cador has another question here. Was that about the PM or Carnival? I don't know. Break time. Come back in just a wee bit with another inspirational. Obviously, Kipling, like the first inspirational we played, got two more for you. One from Anthony. Hey, by the way, I see Anthony has shown up there. Good to see you guys. Hang in there. We're getting back at you in just a wee bit.
Can I have a chicken lunch, please? Large.
Real nice today.
I don't want that.
But you just asked for a chicken lunch.
I don't have problem with the lunch. Afraid the container.
What is the problem with it?
These styrofoam containers, they don't good for the environment. They shorten with life.
What foolishness you telling me? So what you want me to use?
Put my food in this.
Where you get that?
At the food fair, where you could get all biodegradable food boxes and disposable food supplies like cups, plates, anything you could think about. Name it, it's there. And they don't harm the environment. Food fair, taking the lead in cleaning up and protecting the environment. Hey, like you take me advice, you get in your biodegradable food supplies.
Well, girl, I supporting who's supporting the environment. That is why I shop in at food fair.
Food fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets. Products distributed by Hubbard's agency, Kirani James Boulevard.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Studying too hard about back-to-school expenses? Co-op Bank is making back to school as easy as 1, 2, 3. Enjoy competitive interest rates, affordable monthly payments, speedy decisions on applications. Come in and apply today.
We are honored to partner with the Grenada Schools, Inc., the Ministry of Education, and the Caliste Government School in providing this library. GCPI program put $120,000 or 66% of the cost of the library. But it's not an investment that is intended to bring a financial return. It is an investment in the human capital of our youth in Grenada.
GrenLec has shown us their seriousness about partnership, their seriousness about education, and their seriousness about nation building. That local partnership tells our major donors that Grenada is interested.
We have got a big vision at Grenada Schools. We believe that what we can do is, through literacy, have the most literate country in the Caribbean. We are very happy that you got this gift from ourselves and from GrenLec.
We see this library as a unique and valuable resource. One of the best things about receiving this library is that it honors and recognizes the efforts and contributions of a company like GrenLec and Grenada Schools Incorporated.
Since 1994, GrenLec shareholders have invested over $22 million This has been invested in the communities throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. We hope this library will serve the students and school well for many years to come.
Good morning to you, Samantha A. McFarland Thomas. Nice to see you. And Alana Morris Van Tassel says here, good morning, everyone. I want to thank Mr. Anthony DeRiggs for sharing so many live videos from Spice Mass. It was such a gift to receive, and I, in turn, shared with my father. I know he was touched because he sees his daughter getting in touch with the culture. It really was a lovely thing, so thanks to Mr. DeRiggs. All right, Anthony, take a bow. All right, now, continuing along the lines of inspiration this morning. Life is not all about pointing fingers and being critical and condemnatory. We live in an age where it seems that that has become a fixation for most people. But truth be told, there is life after politics. For those of you living in the diaspora, I'd like you to pay close attention to this little piece which I came across last night. Although its origins are in Africa, you just may see how much we here in the Caribbean could benefit from adopting the mindset about which this lady speaks. Especially those of you in the diaspora. Listen carefully. I urge you, listen carefully. Where is it? You gotta be kidding. You gotta be kidding. Here we go.
My name is Arikana Chiombarikwa. In my previous life, they called me Dr. C. I bring you greetings from your 1.27 billion brothers and sisters on the continent and your 55 African heads of states. Africa finally realizes that for Africa to move forward and take its rightful place on the world stage, Africa must speak and negotiate as one. So now a lot of companies around the world are scrambling to get into Africa. We had record applications for embassies in Africa last year. Right. What I'm also doing from a strategic point of view is organizing the African diaspora. We have lots of professionals in so many different leadership positions. You see, the Jews have done a very good job of calling on children of Israel. A Jew may never set foot in Israel, but they know Israel is home. Indians know where they come from, the Chinese know where they come from, the Irish know where they come from. The only people who do not know where they come from are black people. And African Union has taken ownership of that. I think the reason it hasn't been done is because of the fragmentation. 55 countries, who's going to call them home? Yeah. But the African Union this year, during the February summit, they unanimously decided that 2019, 400 years of slavery, it is time to officially call on all children, descendants of former slaves, to come back home. And let me make this very clear. By saying let's go home, we are not meaning to physically go home. We are saying know that Africa is home. And that if you want to go, you're welcome to go anytime. Yes. Where we have issues as black people is that we are busy denying our anchor. We have been told our anchor is a horrible place. Diseased people, dying people, people at war with themselves, far from the truth. And it was all by design, yes, to keep us disconnected. Yes. Because when we reconnect, we have an anchor. Yes. Black people around the globe, they need to know that Africa is home. Amen. And that Africa is ready for you, yes, whenever you want it. that Africa, it is your home, that you should be in the front of the line for everything African. Your Africa is getting ready to open up big time. Bigger than you can even imagine. For the first time, they had a meeting last week in Nairobi. The former Prime Minister of Kenya, Raila Odinga, he is now the special envoy for infrastructure and development in Africa. Because we now have the 22 ratifications, implementation of the Continental Free Trade Area is going to start sometime this summer. So that means we need to come up with a strategic plan for the development of the continent for the first time. Not the individual countries. This has never been done before. So they're wanting a core group from the diaspora. So that way, all the opportunities, they will go to the diaspora and the Afro-champions first. We get to pick what we want. If there's anything left that we can handle, but I doubt there will be. But they're saying we have got to look at Africa first. Africa and its children first. So they said, Ambassador, get the diaspora organized.
This is so exciting that we can go home. And when we can tell our children where home is.
Why are we black people the most disrespected race on earth? I wonder, was there a memo that was sent out around the globe that wherever you see black people and you are not black, you are automatically superior? See, we are being told our continent is a continent of diseased and dying people, all by design. We're being told we are inferior to others, all by design. They got together so they can organize themselves, so they can see to it that Africa and her children are forever defeated and dominated. So they chopped us up into the tiny little countries that we know today. It was done in a way to see to it that these little economies can never survive on their own. And should they manage to survive like us, we always do, we'll make it somehow. We are easy to destabilize. We were set up to lose. Berlin Conference left us on a losing lane. And until Africa is in the right lane, no conversation that's held while in the losing lane is going to bring the desired results. It's like changing seats while riding the Titanic. It's like winning a fight while riding the Titanic. This ship is going down, folks. And the sooner we realize that there are holes in the Titanic and that we should come together and fix the holes in the Titanic so the Titanic does not sink, we're all going down. And this is where we are, my brothers and sisters. This ship that is our Africa is sinking. And it's going to take all of us waking up and realize that we have a responsibility to do something about what's going on in our Africa. Because what is going on in our Africa reflects on who we are. Africa! The onus is on us to say enough is enough. That we know who we are. We know where we come from. And that we refuse to leave this world the way it is for our children. That the real battle for us is right here. The shackles of the mind. Until we can free ourselves, until we can have a serious conversation with the image in the mirror and ask ourselves the very important question, am I colonized? Am I suffering from the legacy of slavery? Why do I think the way I do? Why can't I trust my brother? Why can't I trust my sister? That is where the battle is. So the question I have for all of you, are you ready to have that conversation?
So, there you have it. Our second inspirational this morning. And just before we wrap it up today, we haven't heard from Anthony in a couple of weeks. But I couldn't think of a better way to wrap up today's little get-together than with a very inspiring piece which he did some time ago. Listen to these words, my friends. Listen. And take them to heart. Thanks, Anthony.
For today, indeed, for always. Pray. Instead of worrying today, say a little prayer. For prayer is a mighty force. Do not dwell on the past. It is gone. But learn all you can from it. Try to free yourself from stress. It disturbs your chemistry. Ignore angry and ignorant people whose aim is to ruffle your spirit. Shun negative vibes. Life is much too short for that. Remember, silence is often the best answer. Surround yourself with people who would inspire you and instill hope. Avoid vain and worthless chatter. Meditate. Concentrate on that which edifies and uplifts your spirit. Work diligently on important projects you have been putting off or neglecting. Resist temptation that will drag you down to the gutter. Remain calm even in the midst of harsh criticism, chaos, and confusion. Take a minute or two to meditate so the body and the spirit will be in harmony, in sync. Pause, think, believe. The problems that you face today can be solved without getting yourself all worked up and frustrated. Share the joy that bubbles within you, for love is not perfected until it is shared, as someone once said. Willingly give all you can to those in need and those who show appreciation. Exercise faith, for faith, indeed, like a grain of mustard seed, can move mountains. Laugh when you can. It is a medicine to the soul. Seek the peace of God which surpasses all understanding. Pray for protection from evil and for those who are sick or mourning the loss of loved ones. Forget the mistakes you made yesterday. Make a fresh start today. And if today does not bring you joy, remember, this day too will pass. Remember also the goodness of your family, your friends. Remember the kindness of strangers. Do not forget where you came from or the friends who have been good to you. That which you cannot change, just leave in the hands of the Almighty. Today is the very first day of the rest of your life. You are alive today. It is not by chance. The Creator wants you here. Many slipped away last night, forever gone. But you are here, still above the ground. Peace. Reach out and give someone a spiritual nudge, a kind word. God bless you. And remember, the spiritual force that is within you is stronger, much stronger than the evil in this world. God bless. Anthony DeRiggs.
All right. Wow. Folks, you folks sitting out there this morning are, I've known this for a while, but you are a rare breed of people. Because I'm finding out here that you do appreciate those inspirationals that we've run this morning. Thank you for your support, your encouragement. That is the direction we need to be taking this beautiful little country of ours. And thank you very much, Anthony. Such simple words, such truth, so powerful. Thank you, Anthony. Let me share some of the comments here. Fitzroy Adams says, George, whenever you try to educate the uneducated, it becomes political. Yeah, Fitzroy, that's a sad reality, isn't it? It's sad. But you know what, my friend? Been through a lot, and I intend to continue going through it. That's the direction we're headed. It's the only way to get this country out of the mess that we're in. Changing that mindset. Thank you. I hope you're with us. Alana Morris Van Tassel says, that was a powerful video. The name of the woman speaker, Alana, I won't even try to pronounce it. I think she mentions it at the start of the video. I won't try to pronounce it, but on the video it says that she's an ambassador for the African Union, okay? It's an African name, so please bear with me on that one. Anthony DeRiggs says, Fitzroy, Gary once said, whenever you educate Garyites, they become GNP. You remember those days, Anthony? Yes, sirree, yes, sirree, yes, sirree. Samantha A. McFarland Thomas says, thank you very much for these positive words. Needed it. Thank you. Samantha, our pleasure. I hope you have a good day, my friend. I hope you have a good life. And Alana Morris Van Tassel is saying, I think she's referring to Anthony here. She says, amen. Yeah. And then she goes on to say, thank you, George, for this program. My dear friends, I gotta run. I've kept you 13 minutes over time this morning. But thank you so much. Just by acknowledging what we did here this morning, you've been a blessing. And I do ask God's blessings on you. Now, as always, we wrap it up with an inspirational which I bring to you. And this morning it comes to you from Matthew chapter 10, verses 26, 27, 28. So do not be afraid of them, for there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. What I tell you in the dark, speak in the daylight. What is whispered in your ear, proclaim from the rooftops. Do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Matthew chapter 10, 26, 27, and 28. Kipling says, only on GG. Folks, thank you so much. You have a great day. I don't know if it's raining out there still, but apparently it was a little while ago. May God bless you, and thanks for being my source, my strength. Appreciate it. See you tomorrow.